Welcome to Good Evening KU Sports. I'm Jaden Hill, your host for all things in the sports world. Baseball season is well underway and Caroline Spaeth is here to give us some updates with what has happened so far. Caroline mentioned the Rangers, Diamondbacks, Brave, Orioles, and Dodgers as teams to look out for last week. So we'll see how their performance has been so far. Speaking of baseball, here at home in Kansas City, there is controversy over the new Royals Stadium. The decision was voted down but would have included new stadiums for both the Chiefs and Royals, but would have added an extension of 3/8 cents sale tax on top of the tax funding the current stadiums. Harrison has more information and will explain the how and why of the recent vote. However, before all that, Emma Noble is at Hoglund Ballpark right now ready to give us the rundown on KU baseball. The team has had some substantial setbacks
Good afternoon, Jayhawks. I'm Emma Noble and I'm reporting to you live right outside of Hoglund Ballpark in the center of campus. Now, what better day to talk about baseball? I mean, the sun is shining, there's not a cloud in the sky. The solar eclipse happened about an hour ago. There's no place I'd rather be than right here. The Jayhawks had quite the weekend as they hosted the West Virginia Mountaineers in a 3-game series, and I'm here to talk you through it. Now, game 1 on Friday was a tough one. Both teams battled through 9 brutal innings, with the score being pretty much neck and neck the entire time. But when West Virginia's J.J. Weatherholt hit a RBI double in the top of the 9th to secure the Mountaineers a lead from 11 to 10, that was just enough momentum that they needed to secure the game. The Hawks sadly could not catch up, and the final score was Mountaineers 11 to 10. Now in game 2 on Saturday, Kansas sadly fell short again. Derek Clark for the Mountaineers threw a complete shutout game, only allowing the Jayhawks to hit 3 of his pitches. That momentum was enough to help them score 4 runs, with the Jayhawks never getting the chance to see home plate. The final score for that game was 4-0 Mountaineers. In the series finale, Kansas left it all out there. I mean, they did what they had to do in hopes to secure at least 1 game over the weekend. Now, they battled, there's no doubt about it. We had some great runs, lots of great pitching, but unfortunately, the Jayhawks just could not catch a win. The Mountaineers took the game with the final score being 16 to 9. It's all right, though. I know the 3-game loss was not what the Hawks were expecting, but tomorrow is a new day, and the Hawks are going to be back here playing the Nebraska Huskers at 6 p.m. It's going to be perfect, sunny, no clouds. I suggest you all come out here and support the Jayhawks. Now, that's all from me here. I'm going to send it back to the studio for you guys.
Thanks, Emma. Going into opening day, I named some teams to watch, and now that the season's underway, let's take a look at where they're at so far. The Rangers opened their season with a series against the Cubs. In their first game, Texas was able to take the win with a beautiful walk-off homer by catcher Jonah Heim. The Rangers won their second game against the Cubs 11-2, but fell to Chicago 9-5 in the final game of the series. Next, they face off against the Rays, winning 2 out of those 3 games. The Rangers then won 2 games against the Astros, but lost Game 3 3-1. Third baseman Josh Young and pitcher Joe Spores have both joined the injured list for Texas, neither of them with set return dates. The Diamondbacks came out strong with a 16-1 win against the Rockies on opening day. They scored 14 runs in a single inning, the most in Cub history and the most in a single inning on the opening day since 1900. They won Game 2 but lost in Game 3 9-4 before securing the win in Game 4. The D-backs then hit a rough streak, winning only 1 game against the Yankees before being swept by the Braves. 3 men joined the injured list this week, causing some more issues for the D-backs. Speaking of the Braves sweep, Atlanta is starting their season off strong with only 2 losses under their belt. One against the Phillies 5-4 and the second against the White Sox 3-2. Spencer Strider and Sean Murphy are both battling injuries sustained in the first few games. Murphy is expected back in a few weeks, but Strider may be out for the season. With Strider out, Chris Sale has proven to be a great offseason pick for the Braves. His slider will be a fantastic addition this season, shown through its deadly outcome for the D-backs on Sunday. The Orioles are off to a slower start this season, going 5-4 in their games against the Angels, Royals, and Pirates. Their defense had some beautiful moments like this diving stop from Jorge Mateo, but on offense, the Orioles have really been struggling. The O's have only scored 23 runs in their last 7 games, something that will need to greatly improve on in order for them to succeed this season. The The Dodgers opened 2024 with their expected series win against the Cardinals and their sweep against the Giants. Their performances, however, against the Cubs highlighted their weakness, their infield defense. The Cubs won 2 games against LA and were able to take advantage of 3 errors in the rainy game on Sunday. Although weather played a role in these errors, the Dodgers will need more consistency on defense in order to make it to the championships this year. That's all I have for you today, so I'll send you over to Harrison to check in on some Royals news.
Thank you, Caroline. The Royals and the Chiefs' funding plans for their potential future stadiums were struck down last week in a special election. The vote occupied on April 2nd and resulted in a victory for the vote no side, who ended up with over 58% of the votes. Had this plan been passed, there would have been an extension of a 3/8 cent sales tax. This tax has been partially funding the Truman Sports Complex where the Royals and Chiefs currently play. The Royals' plan with this tax extension included building a new stadium downtown near the Power and Light District and the T-Mobile Center. There's been a lot of discussion about the Royals' next location now after the vote. Royals owner John Sherman's wife was in the news recently after saying neither team will ever work with Jackson County ever again. Meanwhile, John Sherman himself says the Royals will take some time to reflect on the outcome and find the best path forward. The Royals have had several complaints so far this season regarding the location of Kauffman. This is also tied to the Royals showing a lot of promise and potential early on in the new season without the best attendance. With the new-look team capping off a 4-game sweep of division rival Chicago White Sox and the starting pitching off to a phenomenal start with a combined 1.64 ERA from the Royals' 5 primary starting pitchers. As for the Chiefs, the plan with the tax extension was going to include a massive $800 million renovation. The Hunt family was going to contribute $300 million themselves. Some specifics of this plan including a larger parking lot, an activation area for fans to enjoy themselves in before pregame activities and year-round events, new club, suites areas, and upper concourse improvements, among several other changes. There's no clear plan as for what is next for the Chiefs. However, the Hunt family is keeping several options on the table, including some hints at the possibility of moving the Chiefs to Kansas. The now back-to-back Super Bowl champions will remain at Arrowhead through 2031 at the very least, according to their current lease. The Chiefs are still looking ahead to the 2024 regular season, in which they will start their potential journey for a 3rd consecutive Super Bowl. The Chiefs will be the first team in NFL history to pull off 3 consecutive Super Bowls. For Patrick Mahomes, he is still locked in on the future for winning the Chiefs' 3rd consecutive Super Bowl as opposed to where the Chiefs will be. That's all from me. Thank you very much, and back to you, Jaden.
Thanks, Harrison. Before we head back to break, I want to do a quick preview of tonight's championship game. Only 3 short weeks ago, the tournament began, and we are now ready to crown this year's champions. Number 1 UConn and number 1 Purdue are facing off tonight at 8:20 Central Time. UConn is attempting back-to-back national championships, while Purdue has had a chance to win its first ever national championship. UConn can be a challenge because of its size and talent in the backcourt. Cam Spencer, Tristan Newton, and Stephon Castle can all make space for themselves to score. Furthermore, Alex Carbon functions like a guard who will challenge Trey Kaufman-Renn because of his versatility. Finally, Brandon Smith, Fletch Lawyer, Lance Jones are a strong unit, but UConn can control the speed and pace of the game, which could overwhelm Purdue's backcourt. Overall, this number 1 matchup will be the best game of the season and something you won't want to miss.
Natural Ties, a club full of friendship, community, and fun, pairing individuals in the Lawrence community with disabilities to KU students, in efforts to foster meaningful connections that last a lifetime. We host events bi-weekly on Wednesdays from 6 to 7 p.m. Some of our favorite events include Trunk or Treat, the Back to School Cookout, and Neon Night. Follow us on Instagram today and come join us to see how special Natural Ties truly is to us.
What's going on, Jayhawks? I'm Cooper Hannon, and today I got a little bit of a different type of quiz. This time, the Masters. Yeah, it's golf, not many people talk about it too often, but it's a good sport. and it has a lot of fun. So we have 2 new contestants today. Let's go and meet them. Who do we got?
Hey guys, I'm Caroline. I don't know much about golf, but we'll see how much I know, I guess.
Yeah, I'm Brady. I also don't know too much about golf, so let's do it.
See.
All right, guys. Well, hey, good luck, and I hope you see you next week or a couple weeks because we are releasing a bracket coming out. So without further ado, let's get to question 1. All right, who won the first Masters back in 1934? Top 4 answers already. You guys can buzz whenever you think you got it.
I'm going to go Arnold Palmer.
Arnold Palmer would be incorrect, although he does have a famous drink you might have heard of. Brady, you got yourself an answer?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Horton Smith.
Horton Smith would be correct. He did win the inaugural Masters, and you are now on the board with 1 point.
All right,
Let's go into question 2. Here we go. Who has the most Masters victories? Brady, I saw that hand.
3, Jack Nicklaus.
Jack Nicklaus would be correct. He has
Someone I
6 Masters wins. All right, so Brady off to a hot start. 2-0 Caroline. Hey, it's still early.
You know what? We'll get him next time.
All right, well, hey, you got it right here. Come on. Question 3. Which of these golfers have not won consecutive Masters tournaments? There's the top 4 answers. Any buzzes?
I'm going to go
Caroline, yeah.
2, Nick Faldo.
Nick Faldo actually did win 2 in a row. Brady, you can come and steal this point and go off to an early 3-0 lead.
I'll go 4, Phil Mickelson.
Phil Mickelson is correct. He has not won 2 years in a row. All right, going on
What
to
do we got
question
next?
4. Down 3-0.
I can
Hey,
come back.
you can go on a run.
Hey,
I
yeah.
wouldn't say this is over at all. Question 4. Who holds the record for having the lowest winning score throughout the whole Masters tournament? Top 4 answers are on the board.
I'll go...
Did I see a buzz over there?
Oh, Buzz. I'll go Jordan Spieth. 1.
Jordan Spieth, close, but that was going to be incorrect. Caroline, you can come and steal and take this point away, putting you on the board.
I'm going to go 4, Bubba Watson.
Bubba Watson would also be incorrect. It is actually Dustin Hopkins who has the lowest winning combined score. It's all right. It's all right. Moving on to question 5. 3-0 ball game. There is, some extra fun at the end, so hey, you never know. Question
Perfect.
5.
We got it.
Who is the youngest player to ever win the Masters? I saw a quick buzz.
Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods. Wow, you knew that one
That one I
right
knew. I
off
got
the
that one.
gate. Tiger Woods would be correct. He was actually 21. Very young, very young. All right, so now question 6, down 3-1. But hey, you can do it. You can do it, Caroline. Brady, hey, you got to put the stomp. You got to put the pedal to the metal
We're
right
coming
here.
Yeah,
back.
nah.
We
All
got
right,
it.
question 6. Here we go. Okay. All right, question 6 is looking a little bit funky. I don't know if your viewers can read this or not, but let's just go back real quick. Okay? So question 6 was actually, I do know the question.
Okay,
so
perfect.
don't think you're getting off this scot-free, Caroline.
Oh,
All
hey,
right?
I'm ready.
Okay, the question was, who was the oldest, who is known as the Golden Bear of the Masters? It is their nickname.
I'll buzz in.
Yes?
Jack Nicklaus.
Jack Nicklaus would be correct.
Yep.
You are now up 5-1.
Shoot.
Caroline, hey, last question. It is the bonus question. Everyone knows the bonus question. It's a very famous question. So, this
Okay.
question, here it is. It is worth a whopping 4 points. However, Brady does get the first guess because he's up 2 or more points.
Perfect.
But you don't need to look at the screen. The screen's kind of cooked. But hey, question 7, it is the bonus question. Who is the best odds to win the Masters this year? And I'll give you a hint. He did win the Masters last year. They say you're going to go back to back.
Yo, what's his name?
Great.
Scotty Scheffler.
Scotty Scheffler
No.
would be incorrect. He won it back in 2022. Caroline to steal.
Is it John Rahm?
John Rahm would be correct. John Rahm won it back in 2023. And according to FanDuel, he is projected to win it again this year. That's all. Great game show. Caroline, amazing victory. How do you feel about this win?
Oh, I feel amazing. This highlight of my day for sure.
Brady?
Tough loss. Those 4 points killed me. But Sorry.
Well,
Good
I
game.
hope to see you guys.
Good battle.
Caroline, you will be back again in 2 weeks to face the winner of next week's game show. Guys, we're talking a bracket, all right? So get ready and study because we're going to come back and it's going to be better than ever. And maybe we'll get this thing to work. Hey, just maybe. That's all. Thank you.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Tyler Brewer is with us once again talking about sports betting. March Madness brings out the best and worst in the sports betting world. Now, whether or not you like sports betting or what went down in the tournament, Tyler is here to share some insane March Madness parlays. Before we get into that, Brady and Josh are going to talk NBA predictions. From the Nuggets to the Clippers to the Celtics, they cover it all. There is a lot to go over, and I'm far from an expert, so I'll hand it over to the professionals. What do you have for us today, boys?
Hello, everyone. I'm Brady.
And I'm Josh, and today we're going to be talking about some NBA teams that have been making some noise this season.
With the NBA playoffs starting a little over a week away, Josh and I are going to give you some insights on the teams that we think could bring home the Larry O'Brien Trophy this year.
Yeah, so without further ado, let's get into the first team that I think will tear it up this postseason. First team I think that will tear it up are the Denver Nuggets. This team is a true juggernaut with frontrunner for MVP and the Joker himself leading the charge. I mean, Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray are a dynamic duo that never fail to turn it up in the postseason. Not to mention, they are one of the most efficient teams we have seen this decade. They have a star-studded roster with slept-on guys like Michael Never Past the Rock Porter Jr. and KU's very own Christian Braun. The Nuggets are currently the 1 seed in the West with 54 wins on the season and have a true chance of winning their second ring in 2 years. I don't know about you, Brady, but I think the Nuggets' X factor this postseason will be Aaron Gordon. I mean, this dude's a beast, and he's coming off the best season to date. If Aaron Gordon can continue his hot streak, I really see the Nuggets coming out on top of the West.
You're right, Josh. The Nuggets are a great team, and I agree with guys like Aaron Gordon, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. If they can step up, this team is scary. With that being said, my favorite team coming out of the West is the Clippers. This has been a long time coming with the Clippers adding a lot of pieces and staying fully healthy. The addition of James Harden was a risky move, but it's turned out to be a great addition. With him and Harden working together on offense and Kawhi for defense, I can't see them losing.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. The Clippers are a pretty dirty team. Russ, Harden, PG, Kawhi on a team together feels like a 2018 fever dream. But honestly, I have to admit, it would be pretty cool to see Russ win his first ring. But now, Brady, let's stop talking about the West and let's talk about some of our Eastern Conference contenders.
The Celtics are not only the best team in the East, but I think they're one of the best teams we've seen in the past 10 years. The additions of Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis are monumental pieces that they were missing from last year. The emergence of Derek White as a legit two-way star, there seems to be a new energy to this team in comparison to last year. I feel as if this is Jason Tatum's time to shine and prove that he is a legit number one option on a championship team.
I hate to admit it, but you're probably right. The Celtics might just be the best team in the league right now. I mean, their starting lineup is like an all-star team. But honestly, I'm not too worried about the C's because I know Jason Tatum and the rest of that squad will crumble when they face my favorite team and who I have winning it all, the Milwaukee Bucks. Look, I know the Bucks have had a rocky regular season. I mean, look, they fired their coach halfway through the season, recently lost to the Wizards and the JV team, Memphis Grizzlies, that are full of injuries. But honestly, I think Giannis and Dame will get it together. Look, they are two superstars who recently got voted in the NBA Top 75 Players list. I mean, who doesn't love Giannis and who doesn't love Dame time? Those two stars are also backed up by a starting lineup with such great chemistry. The Bucks have key pieces like Chris Middleton and the Splash Mountain Brook Lopez. And don't worry, I'm definitely not forgetting to mention the two absolute dogs coming off the bench with Bobby Portis and the one and only Pat Bev. I have faith in the Milwaukee Bucks, and after an embarrassing early exit last year, Milwaukee's going to be playing with a vengeance. I honestly don't see any team stopping Giannis and the Bucks.
You're right, Josh. Milwaukee is a great team, and with a guy like Giannis leading the charge, anything is possible. Those were just a few teams to keep an eye on for the postseason, but my final prediction is Celtics and Clippers, with the Celtics winning in 7.
Yeah, and I'd say my final prediction is the Bucks beating the Nuggets in 6. I mean, Bucks in 6, it's inevitable. So that's all we have for this week, and we're going to make sure to keep you updated on everything we have in these coming weeks. It's going to be a crazy few weeks. So now let's go off to Tyler to talk about some March Madness parlays.
Thanks, guys. Well, the men's college basketball national championship is set, and it will be the UConn Huskies taking on the Purdue Boilermakers, which is something I did not predict. But someone who may have could have made some quick cash. And that's great and all, but I'm not here today to talk about winners. In fact, the opposite. Today, I want to share with y'all one insane March Madness parlay that almost hit if it weren't for that one unlucky leg. So let's get into it. This year, there was a bettor on DraftKings that decided to put down $50 on a parlay for the first 2 rounds of the tournament. The parlay was 18 legs deep and had plus 405,346 odds to cash, which would have made that $50 magically turn into over $200,000. And somehow, the first 16 legs all hit, which left the bettor with an interesting decision. They received an option to cash the ticket out for over $50,000, or he could trade the ticket to another bettor on a bet exchange and receive over $70,000. Or I guess you could choose neither option and let the bet ride, but that'd be insane, right? Now, to me personally, that would have been too much money to pass up on, but as we all know, hindsight's 20/20. Either way, it doesn't matter what I would have done, because I'm nowhere near smart enough, brave enough, or lucky enough to make that kind of bet. Anyways, our anonymous bettor decided that it was time to let the bet ride and turn down both offers for the ticket. So, they watched on, needing only 2 legs to hit, those being UConn to beat Northwestern by over 13 points, along with Baylor to beat Clemson, which we all know didn't happen. And I don't think I could have handled that much of a letdown for a plus 405,366 18-leg parlay that would have made my $50 turn into over $200,000 just for it to come down to the last leg and watch as the Clemson Tigers took a crap all over the previous results. I mean, wow. I think someone needs to check in on this guy. Either way, for this guy to still accurately predict 17 out of 18 games, it's incredible, which only makes me wonder, is the perfect bracket possible? Will there ever be someone who's smart enough, brave enough, and lucky enough to accurately predict all 64 games? Well, this year there was one guy whose bracket came down to the final 4 before sadly falling apart. And I know you might be wondering who it is. I can see the crew looking at me like I'm crazy right now, but it's true. There was almost a perfect bracket this very year, and it was made by none other than Roll Tide Willie, who didn't give a, well, he just didn't care about anything but the Tide. But dang, I really do feel for Roll Tide Willie and that anonymous bettor, but I guess there's always next year for him. And for me and all of you watching. But that's going to be all from me today. I hope everyone enjoyed hearing about that crazy parlay. Now let's send it to Jaden to close out the show.
Thanks, Tyler. What are the odds of all of that? Well, that's all for this edition of Good Evening KU Sports. Follow us on Instagram at GEKU_sports and tune in every Monday at 3. Rock chalk, and we'll see you next week.